Fellas, are you still powdering your balls? You know you don't need to, right? If you want to keep your fellas feeling cool and dry all day and reduce chafing, then you need to get yourself the Crop Preserver. The 24-hour non-powder moisturizer and deodorant was designed for your butt, balls, and body. Boasting active pH control, anti-chafing, quick absorbing, and made in the beautiful US of A. Head over to manscaped.com and get yourself the Crop Preserver. Your balls will thank you.
This is the year I'm not going to wish away the good stuff, because last year was so poopy on so many levels, right? Like it sucked, man. It was not fun. And like even the smallest things were just painful, right? Like this is a year I'm just going to enjoy everything for what it is, and like every game that's a win, awesome. I'm not going to be in hell if there's a loss, because I don't have this like undead situation, which happened with Kyrie Irving, and when Kyrie came to the fore, it kind of it I don't know if you saw his press conference, but it sucked, man. That was no fun. I know he.
You mean with the Nets?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I've had enough of him. I don't see. You had to go and you had to take the silly out, and you just had to reach inside my soul and bring out the angry, because so listen, I do not want to make light of anybody's loss.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
I do not. But that man just espouses verbal rhea to no end. Yeah. Like, I believe that that's real, that he struggled with that, but he just comes up with garbage, total garbage all the time. I cannot believe him. I don't think it's fair to say that that's the reason then he admits that he gave up on his teammates, right? And blames the youth again. He's just a walking excuse machine who's totally full of it. He is 100% full of it. And then basically telling the world that he is the next, I'm the guy they're passing the mantle to. I'm the guy that, dude, enough. In the one breath, you can't sit there and say, oh, I let everybody down because of what happened, because my grandfather's passing. And then in the other breath, blame the youth. And then in the other breath, say, I'm the next man up. It's just so, he's so wacky, dude. I just can't even take it anymore. I'm so glad he's gone. And to your point, I love the youth. So I'm pumped to see young players playing. One young player, I'm just going to segue right out of him, because I'm just not, from this day forward, I will not use Kyrie's name on this show. Like, I'm committing that was the last time I said it. That's it.
Okay. Well,
not talking about it.
I'm going to talk about it for a little bit here, just to okay. Friday they had their media day, right? And let's just lay this out. He says, obviously I failed as a leader, and I appreciate that, right? As a Celtics fan, I appreciate the fact he owned up to the fact that he sucked. He could have owned up in March. He could have owned up in April. He could have owned up in July when he signed with the Nets. He could have done it any of those times. He didn't. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm moving on with that. But then what he did is he explained what happened last year, and he's like, I'm in good mood. Everything's great. And then my grandfather dies. And I felt like there's a part of that where he's blaming, what happened here on his past and his grandfather, which I think is not great. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt there. He's not skillful with the way of the words. I think we've understood that in the 2 years Kyrie was here. And then he goes on to talk about how he basically shut everybody out and everything from that point on. And while he maintained connections with Danny and Wick, it didn't happen. And I defended him all last year, right? I came on this show. I'm like, no, we got to take him at his word. I went on with Nick. Nick and I did a show where Nick was ripping him up and down, and I I defended him, and I was like, no, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. The media, they spin this thing. Not the local media. I'm not saying the guys that we all know and love. I'm talking about the national media, the whole KD, Kyrie thing from the All-Star game. I mean, all this stuff was spinning, and Rich Paul was spinning his stuff, and it was just the Celtics were caught in it, and they couldn't get out of it. But at no point in that did Kyrie say, I'm hurting. I want to be home. I want to be with my family. And on February 1st, he says, ask me July 1st, right? That's the moment he should have gone to Danny Ainge and said, Danny, I'm not coming back here. Wick, I'm not coming back here. That's all he had to do. That's all he had to do. And instead, what happened is the Celtics lost him for nothing. They ended up trading Terry Rozier and all this, and who knows what happens. But to me, he had an opportunity there to make it right. He clearly had checked out. He clearly wanted to be with his family. He clearly wanted to be somewhere else. We know that he had conversations with Spencer Dinwiddie as early as December about wanting to be there. So he could have been upfront and honest. Instead, he obfuscated, he blamed, he pointed fingers. He looked at say, oh, it's the youth, it's this, it's that. It's very rarely me. And as a result,
you're still in the anger phase of grieving.
Yeah, you're damn right I am.
But see, I've already gone through all that.
Yeah, but it's different.
I was months ahead of you.
Now he's owned up on it. Yeah, but so what? You don't get a medal for it, man.
Yeah, but we can't keep talking about it.
He talked about it. I'm not bringing it up. He's saying this is new information. You might be over it, but he said this is what happened. We actually know what happened now from his words. No, and that's important.
No,
it's important.
Know. Because this is what I'm telling you. It's all bull. It's all bull. We don't know we don't know anything new except he's got a new story of bull. He's got a new plate of bull that he's serving up until people stop asking him. And guess what? People are never going to stop asking him as long as he keeps serving up the bull.
Well, because it's stupid. It's a stupid story. If that's your story, it's horrendous. It's dumb. It makes no sense. If that's
on to the next stupid story. This is what I'm saying. He's pathologically. I just can't even take it anymore. I can't even take it anymore.
Entirely possible. I agree. I think that's entirely possible. I'm just saying there is new information. He's actually talking about this. He hasn't talked about this. He's talking about it now, and what he's laying out is insane. And no doubt he has behind the scenes. He's shown himself to be insane. In snippets about other things, he's shown himself to be insane. But his stuff that he's saying here about why he chose to go elsewhere, to me, he's like, oh, I was close with Danny and Wick. But then he goes on to basically say, but I didn't care about him enough to tell him I wanted out. That to me is what gets me out of all this. I'm a leader. Those guys suck, but just listen to me.
No,
but
I only care about influencers who can influence because they're at the top of the echelon. I don't care about the pawns. That's what he's saying. And that's why he's not a leader, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah. No,
and that's why he keeps coming up with it, espousing new tales of baloney.
Yeah, maybe so. I just all I'm saying is, I guess that we know what his story is now. What he's putting down on paper is this is what I am. All right. Before it was what we thought he was. Now we know what he is. He's putting his best foot forward, supposedly, and it's pretty clear the Emperor has no clothes.
Yep.
And
goodbye.
And we get to root extensively against him when the Brooklyn Nets come to town. So I
have to have this conversation when the Brooklyn Nets come back to town.
Oh, it's going to happen.
I don't want to.
Well, listen, this is the worst
media day intro ever.
No, this is the worst. Look, we can't ignore the fact that Kyrie, his situation is a huge impact to this team. I mean, you could argue that his impact is on par. I know you're hating this. But his impact negatively is as much as anyone that's played for the Celtics in 40 years. We can't ignore that. It's real. It sucks, but it's real. And it impacts what happens from this day forward and how they now want to say we want a fresh start. And that's what the message was all today at Media Day. And I think we can all say thank God for that.
Okay, then this conversation's in the past. From here on out, you cannot say the name, but you can say follow Celtics Stuff Live on Twitter at CSL_tweet live, as well as your hosts at CSL_Justin and at CSL_Duke. The entire CLNS Media Network at CLNS Media, Facebook.com/CLNS fans, and download the CLNS Media app for iOS and Android. Simply search CLNS Media in your app marketplace. YouTube.com/CLNS Media for high definition, full-length locker room interviews in less than a week, and the Garden Report. That's right. That's right. And football season is back, and now you can get into the game with our exclusive sports betting partners, betonline.ag. Sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit and make your bets on your favorite professional or college team. Every spread, every total, every winner or loser, Kyrie, straight bet parlay or tease your way through the season. Will Mahomes throw for 56 touchdowns? Can the Pats go undefeated? Those things are still on. Bet on all of this with the fastest odds, updates, and payouts with our new sportsbook partners, betonline.ag. Head over to betonline.ag or use your mobile device to join today and use promo code CLNS50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus. Get into all the action today with betonline.ag, your online sportsbook experts.